In the last video that I made on this SOK, you saw that I made an adjustment to the rear diff angle, and that's taking care of my major squeaks. All of my leaks have been taken care of. So now we're on to the little issues, the little fit and finish problems, and a couple of minor vibrations. But today, we're going to be taking a look at this driver's side window. Let's dive into it. So I showed a little bit in the last video that it was only going down about halfway, but you can see when I have the window all the way rolled up, it's pinching almost against this metal line right here, and it doesn't sit evenly. There's a rubber gasket right along the top, and it's supposed to fit under that, and it definitely isn't doing that. If we look over here on the passenger side, you can see that the window fits nicely underneath that rubber seal all the way around. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this door panel off. You can see it's got a little bit of damage. My guess is someone has already tried to remove it once before and they didn't quite know what they were doing and did a little bit of damage. So we're gonna go ahead and glue that back in place when we have the door panel off. But we'll start by removing some of these trim pieces, getting access to the screws that sit behind them. Now, first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop off this little SRS cover right here. You can see that there's a screw back behind that. There's this screw down here, and there's also this silver plate that will need to come off. And one other thing that I did was there's a plastic piece that sits right here. I went ahead and removed that because usually when you're flexing this door panel, that's likely to pop off in the process. And the other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this little plastic triangle up here, so that way when I go to slide up the door panel, it's not catching on that and I don't risk damaging it. I've got the screw out of there, I've got the metal plate and the little plastic trim piece off of that side. I've got my door triangle removed up top. Next, what I've got to do is I've got to separate the two halves of this black plastic handle. I've got some plastic trim tools right here I'm going to use to go ahead and separate it. Now that I have those two halves separated on the door handle, there's a Phillips screw up at the top and down at the bottom. I'll get those removed. So like I said, someone had already attempted to remove this door panel. This entire piece should be fastened to the rest of the door panel. So we'll have to glue that back into place, but this will remain part of the door panel. This trim will stay on there as well. Once we get the door panel popped completely loose from the door, I'll be able to go ahead and release the cable from the back of the handle. But now what I've got to do is I've got to release all of the clips from the back of the panel, and I'll be able to slide it up and get it off the car. Now I do have the door panel off of the car. One of the other things I will need to repair, this door handle is supposed to have a little plastic guide that holds it in place, but as you can see, it's been broken in the past. Someone just didn't know what they were doing when they were pulling this off, so that will also need to be repaired. But now we can see behind the door panel, we can see that someone's used some carpet insulation to hold the plastic in place. But what I'm wanting to find out is why my window won't go all the way up and all the way down. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll remove the plastic trim that lines the door so I can see back behind there and see what's binding and holding my window from going all the way down. One of the things that I noticed was these are what's actually supposed to attach the door panel to the clips, but instead of separating the clips, they separated from the door panel. So that's just more repair I'll have to do. Glue those back into place on this door panel so I can secure it again. That's just what happens with these older cars. The glue doesn't hold quite as long, especially if there's someone who's attempted to remove this in the past and did it incorrectly. There's just things that you have to clean up after other people. Now that I can see what's going on inside the door, I'm going to put the key into position 2 and I'm going to roll down my window all the way down and all the way up to see if I can find out where it's binding. So the window is going all the way down and all the way up just fine when the door is all the way open. which means that it's not my regulator or my motor that's the problem. So I started looking around, and one of the things that you can see is when I go to close the door, this door check strap, it's toast. So what I'm gonna do for now is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove the door check strap completely because I'm tired of it catching on this window. And I'll get a new one ordered. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and I will make the adjustments necessary to fit the window so that I can open and close the door without any issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this door check strap removed next. So rooting around in the bottom of the door panel, I found the rest of the pieces for that door check strap, and it just exploded at some point somewhere along the way. So I'll just have to be careful when I'm using this door until I get the door check strap ordered. I'll just have to make sure it doesn't swing all the way. The hinges will stop it. It's not making contact on the body when it opens this all the way like that. So I just got to be careful, especially on windy days, but at least I've figured out what's going on with it and why it won't work. Now, next what I've got to do is I've got to adjust this window so that it fits correctly when I open and close the door. And I am missing a few pieces in here. You can see I'm missing the nut for the top of this window regulator. I'm gonna go ahead and get that replaced, and a couple of other things. There's just some work that I will have to do to make repairs to the damage that has been done in the past. Luckily with these minor repairs, it's nothing that's gonna keep the vehicle down. It's not like I can't drive it without a door check strap, but I'll inspect the rest of the components while I'm in here, making sure everything else is nice and tight, and we'll go ahead and we'll get this window adjusted so it fits correctly. So there's a 10mm on this side and another 10mm on that side. I'll loosen those up, and it's just kind of a guess and check. So I'll open and close the door. Once I've got it dialed in, I'll tighten them down. So after several adjustments, it looks like I've got it dialed in. I've got a nice seal all the way around the door. When I go to open it, I can close it, and it sits right back where it should. So a little bit of guessing and checking on this car. That's just kind of how it goes with these windows, especially when it's been tampered with before. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through, I'm going to do the repairs that I need to make on this door panel, trying to get it back into a decent condition so I can reinstall it. I'll get that check strap ordered. I've got a few other parts ordered as well, so there's definitely more work to do on this Mercedes. I want to say thank you all so much. We just crossed 27,000 subscribers. This channel is still growing way faster than I thought it would, and I'm so grateful to have all of you. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.